It sounds like in some of these organizations you're alluding to, as well as the leaders of these organizations that you're speaking with, that part of how the conversation is being set up is through calling. One could perhaps also say, what's the ethical imperative that is driving the call to a particular kind of future? And it brings my attention to the phenomenon of moral development that we have seen so map right onto the work that's been done on leadership development, the development of leaders, the development of self-identity. And there's another book now, which I know you're aware of, the book by Keegan and Leahy, that there's also excitement about. I hear conversations where both your book, Reinventing Organizations, and this new book about deliberately developmental organizations coming up in the same conversation. And I know in that you had an early review, so you got to contribute to that. What is it that drives development in next stage organizations? And where in particular does ethical imperative and moral development come in?
What a broad question. One of the starting points for me is that most organizations today are pyramids, right? And so we're developing away from the pyramid in its traditional incarnation. And so there's this huge paradox that whomever sits at the top of that organization, of that pyramid, has sort of paramount influence. And so, the development of the leader, sets sort of the boundary for the development of the organization. And so, that's where this, sort of this ethical component and development component comes in, which is really this question of where is this top leader at, and how much does he or she see even the transformation of the organization as an inner journey, right? And so one of the things that I often talk about in conversation with leaders who are in that journey is, are you really willing to see this as a profound and joyful and sometimes harsh personal journey? Right? Because the organizations, once you open up the Pandora's box, or once you give some degrees of freedom, all sorts of things will be happening, which will make this a fantastic journey for yourself. But you will be the person, creating the possibilities, but also creating the limits. And so the self-awareness of that leader is absolutely paramount. And so one of the questions I often have is, who is the mirror? Who are the mirrors that you have? Are there some people in the organization to whom you can give an explicit mandate, that you're really open to listen, including to some unpleasant truth that people are willing to share? And who is your outside? Do you have a coach or a counselor or somebody outside, who can help you, deal with all of the joyful and difficult things that will come up in that journey?